See, look at this array of jerseys that Aaron has behind him. He's already got the man cave set up beautifully. You see that?
Yes, I love it. I love it. You got to have a good, jersey selection in the man cave for sure.
So who you got, Aaron? You got Pujols, Trout, Joe Mauer, and is that Adam Jones?
Adam Jones.
Oh yeah. We got a good little collection in this room. I got them all scattered around the house, but the next house I'll get a nice little man cave that'll fill it up. I have a special section for all the Yankee jerseys, and I got a nice pair of signed CC cleats that I'm gonna throw up in there too. I got them in my trophy room right now, so I'm gonna throw them up in that man cave here soon.
You better hope your wife lets you put I can say wife now too. Congratulations, by the way.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
You better hope that she's cool with that, because Amber will not let me put any jerseys anywhere in this house, bro. Like, she don't want no baseball stuff up in this house.
Man, I got lucky. That's the thing is Sam moved in with me, so I already had all these jerseys up here already. So, she kind of has to live with it. But she already said, she's like, hey, in the next place, like, you're going to have one room. You're going to get one room to put those up, and that's it. I'm tired of walking through the kitchen and I see like a Evan Longoria Cano jersey. She's like, nah, no more.
That's out.
It's so funny. Like, it's so funny you say it like that, Aaron, with the one room and what you're saying, see, because we're building a house right now. And as we're going through it, like we're going to have an office on the main floor, but then in the basement, we're going to do like a studio that'll kind of be my recording space, like kind of what C has going on down in his basement right now. And Andrea's like, yeah, and you can put whatever art, anything you want in there in that room. And I'm like, I know what you're doing here. Like, this is one room, and you're acting like it's like, oh, so you mean in my recording studio, I can get whatever I want? Thanks, babe. Awesome.
So thoughtful.
That's marriage, bro. Y'all better get used to it. I'm telling you.
That's right. Aaron, how Hawaii was the wedding? Maui, is that right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did it out in Hawaii, and we had a blast. We always enjoy going out to Hawaii during the off season every now and then, and checking it out, kind of getting away from things. So we just thought that'd be the perfect destination to do our thing.
That's awesome, man. Now, Aaron, C told me when I got engaged, he said, bro, I'm telling you, no matter what, like when you're standing there and she starts walking down the aisle, you're gonna cry. Now,
yeah.
Now, my whole wedding got submarined by COVID, and the plans got thrown out the window. But even still, even just like in the park in Westchester that we ended up getting married with just 10 people, he was right. I still started crying. Were there waterworks for Aaron Judge standing there as Sam walked down the aisle?
Oh man, what's funny is like the whole time leading up to it, I was telling my friends, telling Sam, I said, I played in playoff games. I've been in big situations. Like this is just another day. I'm just going to be stone cold. Just let's do our thing and get to the party. But man, yeah, sure enough. Right when I saw her coming down the aisle, man, you could, and the dang, the photographers didn't have my back. They caught me in the act too. They got the tears in their eyes, man. They got me, but I couldn't help it. You try to resist it, and you got so many different emotions flowing. And it kind of all hits you at once. So it was pretty special.
Man, what was crazy is we just did this vow renewal me and Amber did in 2018, and I didn't cry that time, but somebody had to hand me a towel because I was sweating like it was Game 7 of the World Series. Like it was like drenching sweat. Like, I don't know, like in that moment when you're standing there and they coming down, just something, like you said, like all the emotions and everything, like just kind of get the best of you for sure.
Man, exactly. It just happens, man. Sweat, tears, everything. And then you're just looking forward to the party. Like, hey, we got it done. Let's do it. And let's go have some fun.
I also think there is some element of like this realization of like, oh, this is one of those big life moments, like where it's like you think of, whatever those moments are, getting married, getting engaged, having a baby, whatever, winning a championship in your guys' case for goals. But it's like that, it's only happening but so many times, right? And it's like when it happens, it's like, I think there's also this part of you that's like, wait, I've been on this earth long enough to experience this like moment that I've been thinking about forever, right? It's the connection and the love and all of that makes you emotional. But I feel like, I don't know, Aaron, am I wrong? It was recent for you, but like, I feel like there's also this part that's like, holy crap, like, how this is real. Like somehow I'm experiencing this already, this thing that I just conceptualized forever.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. That's what everybody kept telling us leading up to it. It's like, take a step back, enjoy it, like soak it up. But it just moves so fast that you're like, you go here, you're taking pictures, you're doing this, you're saying hello, ceremony. Like it's just going so fast. And it actually hit us at dinner. We were kind of sitting there at the table and we both just looked around. Like we got all our friends and family and we're all in one spot. It's like we kind of looked at each other like, did we just do that? Like, is this really happening? Are we dreaming? Like, let me pinch you real quick. Like, okay, no, it happened. It happened, but it was, no, it was special. Like you said, it's kind of like out of a fairy tale. You just don't really believe it's happening, but you just enjoy it. You go with the flow, have some fun with family and friends. And it's something, we'll never forget. That's for sure.
Well, God bless and congrats, man. And I just have to ask you, did you go whale watching at all while you were in Maui? Because, in the winter, there's plenty of humpbacks there.
We actually didn't this time because around the time we got married, it was just the very kind of beginning, I guess, of whale watching season.
Was it like late November, early December?
Early December. So
they're just migrating there.
They're just migrating over there. But I guess what's crazy is during our whole ceremony, I guess right behind us, like in the water, there were just pods of whales like breaching and coming through. So I was locked in on her, so I didn't see any of this. I didn't know who was there. But everybody else that was there said like, "Oh, you should have seen it behind you." Like it's like you guys planned it or something. You guys brought some like whale pods coming through. They were breaching. It was unreal. So we didn't.
That spot though, you don't have to go whale watching from up there, like from Kapalua. You can just stand out and you can probably see whales a lot from up there because you could do the same thing in Wailea, but up there you could definitely see everything.
Yeah, it all just happened right there, so we weren't even too worried about it. Everybody else saw it, and we'll go back. We'll for sure check out that same spot, and we'll hit all the tourist things we got to do.
See, now this is why I love R2C2 because our audience, no matter what, they get to learn that during Aaron Judge's wedding ceremony, there were whales breaching in the background. I mean, like, where else are you getting that and getting to paint that picture? By the way, that's, I think, mine and Cece's dream as two whale lovers. You lived it out by having that happen in the background as you were getting married.
No, yeah, we got lucky. That was something that we didn't even plan, didn't even know, and it just, man, right time, right place.
Hey, Aaron, how I think one of the other things our podcast we love to do because we have this expansive amount of time where we get to talk to guests is we get into the weeds a little bit more and learn things about routines that we otherwise don't. When you're in an off season right now as an MLB player in a lockout where certain facilities and things are closed off to you compared to what you're used to in your off season, just how do you go through your training and your preparation as you're getting ready for the season? Obviously not knowing the exact date you're going to be playing, but having to be prepared for potentially being on time. Like, can you just kind of intimately take us through what it looks like and how it's different from what it might normally be preparing for a season?
Yeah, man, it's different for sure. Because that's the one thing that's nice being out here in Tampa. Is usually I can drive right to our facility. I can knock. It's just a one hit. Like I can work out. I can hit. I can do any like rehab work if I need it. Anything I need to do, and then I head right home. But with this lockout now, you kind of got to build relationships and find facilities. So you got to go hit at one place, and then you got to drive 20 minutes over, to get a workout in, and you got to drive another 20 minutes to get, some PT in, and you got to drive all the way back. So it's just a little different, but that's the one thing is I've been able to build some relationships with some good, a lot of great people here in Tampa, and I get a chance to work out at Diesel Fitness, which is, pretty close to where I live. And, thankfully, USF is allowing us to use their field before they practice in the morning. We can go out there, hit BP, use their cages, and just kind of do what we need to do. We got a pretty good little group growing right now. We got Luke Boyd out there, Tim Beckham, Mike Ford hitting with us. Richie Martin with the Orioles. We got a couple guys. Malik Smith was out there with us today, and it's just a good little group that we got. And we're just we're excited. It was kind of funny. We're all out on the field today, and we were just all laughing. Like we felt like little kids again, man. Out on the field, we're playing catch, taking ground balls, fly balls, BP, and no, it's great. It's different. That's the one thing is I wish we could all be at the facility and we could all be with our Yankee guys and kind of building that, that team chemistry right now. Especially with, we have some new coaches. We have new coaches on hitting coaches, all that kind of stuff, and kind of building all that. But it is what it is.
Is it odd, like not having a date to work towards? Because like our whole offseason is just like waiting for that date that you have to report. Like not having that, now I feel like they just gonna be like, all right, lockout's over. Now get the spring training in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? So like you have to like really start to be, putting yourself in like almost like season mode a little bit now, just so you can be ready to like, when they hit the button and be like, all right, well, you got 3 days to get down to Tampa.
No, exactly. That's the one thing that's tough is, mentally we're all prepared as if spring training starting on time. Like it's not like we're not in a lockout. We got to report the 15th. This is a date. Just be ready for that, and then if we come to that date and it passes, we can kind of work back from there. But, all of us are in the mindset, like we're taking, live AB, standing on bullpens, Tuesdays and Fridays, just seeing some velo. That's the first thing. Like whenever, especially for me, the first time when I'm coming back into camp, if I got to face CC, man, it doesn't matter what the speed is. It looks like it's 108 coming in there and breaking pitches. I'm like, how did I even do this? Did I lose it? Like, is this the year that I can't? This fastball's too fast, But no, but we're just preparing like it's a normal time. It just, like you said, it sucks that we don't have a set date. Like, guys, be ready for this date. Report here, be here, physicals here. But it's interesting to see what they're going to do. They're going to kind of pull like, okay, lockout's over. We need you here in 3 days. Like
oh no, it's gonna be like lockout's over. Y'all got to come in 10 minutes. Like get a flight and be down in Tampa and be ready to go. That's what it's gonna be. I'm telling you, it's gonna be crazy.
Man, we'll see. Hopefully, that's one thing. Luckily enough, I'm down here already, so it won't be too bad. But I know, man, everybody's out of the country, all across the U.S. So it's gonna be hectic, and I'm excited to see what happens with some of these free agents too. We got a lot of big name free agents still on the market, and it's like, they're searching for jobs. Like, so they're, luckily I'm still on a contract right now, so it's like I know where I'm going to go, I know where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
But some of these guys that they're going to be like, okay, report to spring training. Well, it's going to be like, well, where am I going? Who's going to sign me? What am I going to do? I got to get housing. It's crazy.
Aaron, you segue beautifully for us to ask you about your contract situation. So thanks for that, man. What do you? This is last year, right? This is one more year. Do you like in your mind? Is there like? Do you have? What would be your comfort level with playing? This year out and becoming, an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. Or how much are you desiring getting an extension this offseason and not having to ever hit free agency and knowing you're a Yankee for the long term?
Man, that's a loaded question right there. You know what? That's one thing kind of leading into this is, especially coming up to the minor leagues, starting your first couple of years of rookie ball, everybody talks about getting to free agency. You want to be a free agent. You want to test the market a little bit, see what's out there. But that's one thing that, I've been lucky enough to play in, the best organization, out of all of them, so who wants to go anywhere else?
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, whatever happens, if we get an extension done at some point before the season starts, that'd be great. And, I'd be completely honored to be able to win pinstripes, for a couple more years. But, if it doesn't happen and this is, my last year, I had a lot of great memories and, I'm always going to, it doesn't matter if it's my last year, first year, I'm going to go out there and play my best and do what I need to do for the city and do it what I need to do for the team. But, it's all in God's hands. It's going to work out the way it's supposed to. And, that's why I got agents. I got people taking care of that for me. So I'm not even worried.
Hey, see, what do you think? I think you did pretty good with the answer. What do you think?
That's the perfect answer because no matter what happens, life goes on. You know what I'm saying? Like they play baseball in 31 other places other than just the Bronx. So, it just kind of is what it is. When I was coming up on that free agent year, if you would have asked me that question, I would have been like, no, I'm staying in Cleveland. Like, this is where I'm going to be. But guess what? Fucking 6 months later, I'm in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of is what it is at this point. You just go out and play hard and try to win and let the chips fall where they may. I mean, he's done everything to put himself in the best position possible.
Yeah.
So now you just go out and play and try to win and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it too, Aaron, right? Because obviously we know, and I do. I think you answered that perfectly. You want to stay. If you get an extension that's, worthy of your performance thus far and your projected performance and what you want, you'll happily sign it, be a Yankee forever. If you don't, you'll test the market, you'll see what happens, and you'll be well paid, and it may end up somewhere else then, right? And that's kind of the reality of the business. But the one thing you know for certain is all that gets taken care of by you just going out and doing your thing, right? Is it easy for you to say, hey, like, I know the business part of it gets worked out as long as I do my work?
Yeah, that's what it ultimately comes down to. You go out there and prove it. Like, the ball's in your court, no matter, who you are, when it comes to free agency or anything, it's about you putting up the numbers and doing what you need to do and showing that you deserve a contract or deserve to be somewhere, so that's, for me, it makes my job easy, go out there and do what I need to do to play every single day, be out there on the field, support my teammates, and, bring a championship back, this last year. And, that's the fun part right there. I ain't got to worry. Like I said, I got people taking care of the business side of it, and I got a job to do on the field.
Yeah, and there's really nothing you can do about it anyway. So all you can do is just go out and play, because all of that stuff is out of your hands anyway. So I mean, that's the easiest mind frame to be in, is just go out and play, and the shit will handle itself. Yeah.
So like, see, how was that for you? Like, you get traded during that last year, go to Milwaukee in a playoff run, then it's over, and then it's like now what? Or is it you already had an idea of like, oh, here's a couple teams that I want to, I'd like to go to? Or
yeah, it wasn't a couple teams I like to go to. I was trying to put Dodger Blue on, cause like that was the only thing that was on my mind. Like, after the season ended in Milwaukee, I was like, all right, I'm about to be a Dodger. Let me go look at some houses down in LA. Like, that's what I thought. And then the first day of free agency, the only offer I got was from New York. And I was like, oh, fuck, man. I don't know if this is going to work out. Like, so it was a harder decision for me to make just coming here. You know what I'm saying? It was just the New York aspect of it. And but for you, like you said, you came up here. This is all you've known. And this is the best place that you can play baseball. Like, we all know that, but it's just a matter of can you handle it or not. And you being a baby from here and growing up in this is what you know. So for me being a free agent, I didn't know if I could handle it. I didn't know with the A-Rod and Jeter shit. I didn't know if I wanted to be in the middle of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear all these different stories about the clubhouse and what you can and can't do. And obviously we know it's different. We know it's just like any other clubhouse. It's a lot more fun, to be honest. But yeah, I didn't know all of that. So I was scared to death. And really, Cash was the one that convinced me to come. If it hadn't been for him, I probably would have still be a free agent, cuz.
Aaron, when we had Booney on last, and we asked him about like extending you long term, and he definitely steered it towards how impressed he's been with your leadership. And he said how, you've become the unquestioned leader of the clubhouse, and the way you've taken kind of command to the room and own that role really stood out to him. And I'm wondering, as you look at, from, originally coming up in 2016, but then 2017 really being the, obviously that was the official rookie season, to now, what, how would you kind of describe your evolution as a leader and how you feel about that right now on the New York Yankees?
Wow, Rugo, the thing is, I've been in a great situation, like you said, coming up in 16 and 17 and already having some great leaders in the clubhouse, especially with CC there. Gardy was, kind of the veteran, position player over there. And, it's kind of leading off those two guys and how they handled big situations, how they handled their teammates, how they talked to their teammates, how they handled rookies coming up, how they handled management, coaching staff. Man, I got a front row seat to see two of the best in the game do it. Like that's how it's done right there. Take your notes. And so that's where I kind of feel like I was lucky enough, those first couple of years to kind of just sit back and watch what CC does, watch how he handles the media, good game, bad game. How's he talking to the media? Is he taking responsibility for it? Or is he blaming his teammates? And every single time, he's it's my fault. Even though us as an offense, we didn't put up any runs for him, he's still like, what? It's my fault. I shouldn't have given up the one run, this and that. I'll get him next time. I'll keep working hard. Like just getting a chance to kind of sit back and watch that from afar. It makes my job easy. And then, all the other teammates that we add, one guy I think of is DJ LeMahieu, adding a guy like that who may not be that vocal, but he's a guy that goes out there and works hard every single day. And I can kind of feed off that and watch, okay, this is a guy from a different organization. He's been an all-star, Gold Glover, been in big postseason games, and like, let's see how he handles it. And for him just to put his head down and work hard, like it makes it fun for me coming to the field every single day, being around guys like that. And no, it's certainly evolved. The first couple of years, kind of just stay out of the way. I'm gonna go out there, play in right field, do what I need to do. Get my 4 or 5 at bats, and get them tomorrow. But as once CC leaves, a couple other veteran guys kind of leave. You kind of just gotta step up. You gotta be that guy. I don't usually don't like to be vocal, but there's certain times you gotta step up and things need to be said. You gotta have a meeting. You gotta talk with certain guys. You gotta pull guys aside, and just a lot of things that the camera doesn't see. Man, that's the way to do it. That's what I saw from especially CC and Guardy is they weren't out there yelling at their teammates or pulling a teammate aside in front of the camera for everybody to see. They kind of it happened behind the scenes. That's why people in the stands don't see that. The media doesn't see that. The leadership skills that they showed me, man, at a young age, that's something I still take with me to this day.
I think he's being a little too humble, Ruco, in his leadership role. I mean, me and Guardy were there, but in 2017, when at the beginning of that season, I think me and Guardy both looked at each other and was like, "This is his clubhouse." You know what I'm saying? Like we're here to be his, backboard or somebody for him to fall on, but it was his clubhouse right away. The only other person that I've seen that came up that commanded the clubhouse the way Judgy did the first year was Grady Sizemore. And it's because of their play. When you get guys that are that good, they become your leader by default. You know what I'm saying? And just so happens that this guy's got great character. He's a good leader. He came out of college. Like it was just, it all fell into place perfectly. And me and Guardy were there, but it was always his clubhouse from the time he stepped into it. So some of those type of people are just born. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing that you can teach somebody to be that type of leader. And those are the only 2 young players that I've ever seen that commanded a clubhouse like that was Grady Sizemore and Aaron Judge for sure.
Well, how about this aspect of things, guys? Because Aaron, you mentioned the idea and you saw with CC and now do yourself of like, you'll pull guys to the side, right? And you'll have these conversations that the media doesn't see and people don't ever hear about, but have to be done. And it's on you guys as leaders to do it. I'll ask you both. See, we could start with you. Because I think this is interesting to people because they don't see it. What would make you, without having, I have to name the player obviously, but what would make you do something like that? Like what's something you see where you pull a guy aside, and then Aaron, the same thing for you after C, you just hop in there. Like what would make you do something where you're like, what, I gotta talk to this guy. Like something needs to be said here.
For me, it was just always like effort. If I feel like you was giving up on the squad, it was never anything mental mistakes because we all make mistakes. Shit's gonna happen out on the field. It's just the effort. Like if you can't give us 3 hours of your time to go out there and try to play as hard as you can or pitch as hard as you can or, give us everything you got, then that was always a problem with me. Like when I showed up to the park, no matter what was going on in my life, for those 3 hours, my brothers got me. The rest of the 24 guys that like, this is what I'm trying to do for these 3 hours is win a fucking baseball game. And if you don't have that, if you can't give me that, then get the fuck off my team. And I'm definitely going to say something to you.
He hits it on the head right there. Effort's, I think, number one. Because like you said, it doesn't take any talent. It doesn't take to be the best player or the worst player. You can always give 100%, whatever that is. And, when you see that as a teammate, it's kind of like you said, like, hey, I'm out here, busting my butt. I'm trying to make diving plays. I'm hustling down line, trying to stretch a single and a double, for the team. It's not for me, it's for the team. And all of a sudden to see another teammate, not pulling on that same rope as you, that pisses you off and kind of wants you to be like, hey, like, you got a minute, But like another thing for me too is like teammates showing up other teammates. That's one thing that, you see certain guys where if they don't, a pitcher makes a bad pitch and all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, like what is this guy doing? Like that for me, like that's as a team, you got to be united. You got to all stand together as one, because if you got any weak links in the armor, man, your team's going to crumble, and that's one thing that, man, that grinds my gear, seeing a position player, if a pitcher gives up a hit or not throwing strikes or like back there, like that's what's going on. It's like, like, hey, come here, man. Like you got to lock it in. Just do your job. You do your job. They're going to do their job, and we're all going to come out here and get a win. So that's one thing that, man, that grinds my gears a little bit.
Yeah. I get that. Last year, who was the pitcher on Toronto? Was it Ross Stripling who screamed at my boy Joe Panic again in the game against you guys when he made an error?
Did he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like one of the most egregious. You remember that game, Aaron?
Yeah.
It was one of the most egregious acts of showing up a teammate I've ever seen in a major league game. Like he did like a whole like, come on, like arms in the air, like whatever, because I don't know what it was something because Stanton was running and something, and like Joe still threw it away, and Stanton was kind of just jogging. So Sadie confirms Ross Stripling, and he, to his credit, he owned it afterwards and was like, "That was horrible," and I went right up to Joe, and I feel terrible.
Yeah, but nah, I don't accept that apology. Like, if you do that, that's what you meant. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like Judgy said, like we all out there grinding, trying to win a game. Like nobody's trying to fuck this up. Like I'm trying to win. You know what I'm saying? So if I make a mistake or somebody makes an error and like nobody's saying nothing when I'm giving up fucking home runs throwing 88 miles an hour straight. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to check your own shit, man. And that's what that was always like. Just watching some pictures. I'm not gonna name a few, but just watching some of these guys, like it was horrible to watch.
Let's name one. Let's just name one.
Because R2C2 make too much news, cuz.
That's right. Hey, Aaron's already going to make news with just the contract bite and then the whales in the background of the wedding ceremony. So we're already pumping out news here today. Can I share with you guys? This is going to take us off course, but kind of it's relevant just to our conversation. Can I just have a therapeutic session for a bad moment for me where I showed up my teammate? Can I and I still feel bad about it to this day. And you guys can both put me in my place. So it was my senior year at Fordham. I was playing intramural softball, and it was co-ed. we were in the championship game. I was a beast, okay? And it was like, I don't know if it was slow pitch.
You were a what? You were what?
I was a beast in this league, man. I was a beast. I was two-way player, man. I was going yard. I was making diving catches.
What's a two-way player? What are you talking about?
Offense, defense, baby. Offense, defense.
It's fucking baseball. You should be playing offense and defense.
I was 3 and D, baby.
About,
I was a 3 and D player, okay? And we're in the bottom of the 7th. We have it was 7-inning game. We had like a 2-run lead, I want to say, and the bases are loaded. And one of my best friends, who's now the head of PR at MLB Network, Lou Baricelli. You might have met him, C, when you did some of these things. I'm not expecting you to remember it, but he's a phenomenal guy. He's great at what he does. He's playing in right field, and they had a hitter who all game long had tried to hit the right field. Because, in like slow pitch softball, everybody pulls it, right? But then you have 1 or 2 guys who will take advantage of that. And Lou, after we had just said, hey, remember, like, this guy goes the other way, he pinches all the way over to center field, leaves right field totally vacant. What does the guy do? Guy just slaps the ball into right field. He ends up hitting a walk-off home run because nobody's there. And we lose the championship. And I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. And I'm just like, and it's one of my closest friends. Lou, we just told you this. What are you doing, man? Like, we just told you. I really was upset. And I just want to let you guys know I still feel bad about it because I know I
You
need to be
should.
better.
That's a dickhead move, cuz. You should feel bad. You should still feel bad about that, for sure.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
You're competing, though. You're competing. It's just
Yeah.
competition comes out.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry, Lou. I apologize, man. Hey, Aaron, how about being named captain? How much would that mean to you? Because this is something that a lot of Yankees fans want to see. Look, the Yankees don't always name captains. They can go decades without having one. We saw, an 8-year gap between when Don Mattingly retired and then when Jeter was finally named captain. We haven't had one since Derek retired. Without, putting you in the position to assume it is or isn't going to happen, how much would that mean to you if it did happen?
It'd be an incredible honor, that would, man, I can't even fathom that, to be honest. When you think about, the past captains, like you said, mentioning Donnie Baseball, Jeet, Munson, like a lot of those guys that, the way they represent the pinstripes and represent themselves on the field and grew the game, like that's, man, it's, and the championships. That's another thing. That's one thing that, I'm still searching for, still hunting, in New York, is bringing back a championship, because, man, CC would wear us out with the stories of what New York's like after winning a championship, man. He says there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. He says you can still see the confetti, flying down Main Street. And, man, it'd be an incredible honor, but I think, nothing honestly would ever change. I'd still try to hold myself the same way, try to hold myself to the highest standard, be accountable, and be there for my teammates, So I don't think if there is a captain name or no captain name, I'm still going to go out there and just be Aaron Judge and try to be the best leader and teammate I can be every day.
If it's so true, and you bring up the championship thing, Aaron, you guys, you really exceeded expectations in 2017. And, I don't think people didn't think you were going to be a playoff team. Never mind come within one win of going to the World Series. And who knows, if the Astros hadn't had cheated the way they did, maybe you guys would have gone to the World Series. Well, obviously, we'll never know that now. But I'm wondering, if I would have said to you, because CC and I actually were talking about this recently on an R2C2, the idea of like how hard it is to win and getting so close and thinking like, oh yeah, they're going to be back next year. And then you don't know. And I think we talked about it in regard to Patrick Mahomes and saying like, you assume this guy's going to get a million chances, and look, he's already won one. But like, you don't know. Like, you never know. I would have thought Russell Wilson was going to get back a ton too. I would have thought Aaron Rodgers was going to. If I would have told you in 2017, after you guys lost Game 7, hey, it's the year 2022. You guys still haven't gotten back to that point with this core. You haven't gone to the World Series. What would your reaction have been? Would you have been stunned by that?
I would have been, definitely stunned, just based on the group that we had. Definitely would have been a shock to me. But I think going through that 2017 season and seeing how hard everybody worked and what it took, and going to the Game 5s and going to a Game 7, and like, just that whole thing, you kind of take a step back and realize, man, this ain't easy. This thing is a grind from day one. That's one thing that people talk about. It's like when they ask you about 17 or 19 or certain years, we get pretty far in the postseason. Like, man, that year must have been fun. Like, you guys were just killing it all year. You ran away with the division in 19. You guys, all the home runs, this and that, and 17, the wild runs you guys would get on. I'd be like, no, you guys must have missed it, because there were some ups and downs in April and May. The games you have to fight back in just to kind of get into a wild card situation. Like, it's a lot of work, man. That's one thing that, I know CC and Gardy have both talked about when we've had kind of team meetings, before the season starts, going into the postseason, kind of always have a little team meeting, and certain guys talk, and C and Gardy would always kind of get up there and, say a couple of things. And that's one thing they always talked about, man, is it ain't easy. And you never know, this could be your one shot, your only chance to be in this postseason. You could get one game for your next. If you play 20 years, you can only get one game. There's certain guys that had 20-year careers, never even got one at bat or one inning pitched, so don't take it for granted. So, but it's pretty crazy. Going back to what you said, I would have been shocked, but seeing how hard it is to get there and repeat to even get into the postseason, man, it's a grind.
Yeah, that's why I was so crushed in 17. Because we were like, it was right there. You know what I'm saying? And I know how hard it is. And I was just like, after game 7, I'm like, God dang, we got to do this all over again just to get back here. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to get back to this point where we just lost. Like, you know how much it's going to take to get back to that? Like, so that shit was crushing. And 17 crushed me. Like, if I could have retired after 17, I would have, just from heartbreak. Like, because it was right there. You know what I'm saying? And that one, I mean, that was one of the toughest losses I've ever taken in my life, on or off the field. That one was tough. And I would be shocked. I mean, I am shocked with that core, you know, after the year we had in 17, like you said, winning the division in 19, that we still haven't won, you know. And I'm gonna say we because I'm still a part of that core. The core in that clubhouse I'm a part of. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with y'all every day. So it's still a part of me. I'm still with it. You know what I'm saying? As far as this group winning. So yeah, it's just so incredibly hard to win a championship, bro. It is. It's crazy. It takes a lot and a lot of luck.
Man, and like you said too, like you being a part of that core, man, that's one thing that I even think about to this day. Even, you know, going into the 2020 playoffs, you know, going into last year's in the postseason, like I think about all the work and all the, you know, the time and energy you put into every single season, and what you laid it out there. You know what I'm saying? You pitched so you couldn't throw again. You know what I'm saying? And that just makes me think, like, man, like you gotta win for these guys that gave it their all to try to get you to this point, and they fell short. Well, you gotta keep that going. You gotta keep that legacy going, man. And that's something that's still always in the back of my mind. I got it in my notes on my phone, looking at it throughout the season and then off season, man. So it's, man, you still with us. Man. Don't ever forget it. And when we bring one back, man, we're gonna get you on float. Like, you know, we're gonna get your own.
You know, Aaron, you're going to win one here. I know it.
For sure.
I know it in my soul. It's going to happen. And when it happens, it'll make all those, you know, moments, all the losses, right? It makes it all worth it, because it just, I feel like it'll help enhance it, right? Like, I'm talking like I've won a championship, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
you could have had that Intramural championship, but your guy fucked it up.
Shit, man. Come on, Lou. But I'm wondering, when you think about it, how do you envision it? Like, how do you envision getting to the promised land in a Yankee uniform? What does it look like to you?
Man, that's like what do you mean? Like,
do you envision the parade? Do you envision like the dog pile on the mound? Like, what, you know, what does it look like to you? Like, and I guess I first ask, is that something you think about? Like, do you use it as some sort of, because I know, like, you know, you're big on like kind of affirmations, and like you just said, you have things in your notes you look back on. You know, do you have certain, like, you know, either, you know, visual things or, you know, meditative things that you think upon, and you're like, all right, like that, you know, this is what I'm seeing, like this is what I'm working towards, this is what it's going to feel like, this is going to be the experience of it?
Yeah, you know, what's crazy is I think, you know, the one thing that always pops in my head, you know, is literally I picture us winning it at home, like packed stadium, game 6, Yankees, like, we're at home. I can just picture myself in right field, like, and you kind of get those, even in like wild card games, division games, when you know it's like the last inning, it's the 9th inning, out number 1. You know, you kind of feel the crowd stir a little bit more. All of a sudden, it's, you know, ground ball to short, out 2, and you can just kind of feel that. Like I got that. I just have that vision in my head for some reason. Like the first one is going to be at home, like a game 6 or something, and, you know, just running in, storming the field, dog piling, city going crazy. Hopefully some fans run on the field. Feel like we're in the 70s and 80s, you know? But no, you think about those things, you dream about those things. And that's what, you know, for me, kind of gets me going when it's, man, June 11th and it's a Monday and you got 5,000 fans, you know, and you're playing, it's hot, you know, you're 0 for 3. Like, those are the things that, you know, I think about, like, man, you know what? Like, you got to push through the day. You got to win today to get to tomorrow, you know, and that's one thing I always try to think about. Like, the visualizations are big time.
And you know what's crazy is that and sounds weird, but like the Yankees is the only place that you can get that motivation, I feel like, because we're expected to win every year, right? So when it's May and it's tough and it's April and it's cold, you're like, nah, like this is what it's gonna take to get to October. So it's always that extra added motivation in the back that we could win a championship every year. You know what I'm saying? Like that keeps you in it, that keeps you in the fight, that keeps you going, that when you soar, that makes you still want to go out there and play. Like those little things like that knowing that there's always a chance when you're a Yankee that you can win a championship. That's what it's about, man. It's no other place like that. I promise you, it's no other place.
And I kind of what you hit on earlier about, you know, getting on teammates that don't show effort. It's for that reason right there. Like, guys, the team we have in this clubhouse and the opportunity we have here in New York, we got an opportunity to win a championship every single year. Like, that's why you should be busting your butt down the line. That's why you should be making the play for your teammate, because this is a special group we got here. This is a special chance we got here. And you never know what's going to happen, but we got that opportunity in New York, you know, every single year. So, man, that's effort, man. That's big time.
Yeah.
You know, Aaron, one of the things I think is amazing about you that I so respect is you came up, you had this incredible run of success, and then you struggled a lot at the end of 2016. And then in 2017, you come back, you have this epic, historic first half for a rookie, win the home run derby, and then for about 4 to 6 weeks after, you really struggle. And then you finish the season strong. And then you go to the Cleveland series and, you know, you're striking out every at bat. But then in the ALCS, had you guys
I don't remember none of this shit.
Yeah, it's true. And then in the ALCS, you would have been the MVP of the series if you guys would beat the Astros. And the thing that was amazing to me was your ability to dig out of, you know, ruts or struggle. And I'm just wondering, for you, how did you do that? Like, what are your keys when you're going through a downtime, especially after having success, to get through it and get to the other side and get back to success?
Wow. You know, yeah, 17 was crazy. I was like, that's another year. Like people ask, man, that must have been, you know, you're hitting all these homers. It must have been a great year. It must have felt great every single time you step into the plate. But like you said, like there was times like after the All-Star break, I was the worst player in baseball, man. There was times I didn't even want to step in that box. I'm like, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. I'm going to walk right back to the dugout, right field. You know, but, you know, I lean on my teammates a lot, man. I like to, you know, I keep all these notes in my phone. You know, when I'm going good, when I'm going bad, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. And I just kind of lean back on, you know, past experience. You know, when I was feeling good, what was I thinking? Or like, because there'll be a couple of times where I'll go several games and I'll be like, man, I just don't feel right. Then I'll go back in my notes and be like, you know, well, did I think about this approach? And then I'll get back on that approach and then things will kind of click. And, you know, another great thing is, you know, just being surrounded by so many great teammates. You know, that's one thing in 17. Like when I'm struggling, like, I look around and it's like, you know, all my teammates are giving 100%, man. They're busting their butts. They know we got something special, man. I can't sit here and pout. I can't sit here and moan and groan about my experience, man. You know, I may be not doing something at the plate. Well, I got to go out there and make a play on defense. You know, so that's one thing that's always helped me is like having that. I couldn't imagine being a DH. You know, I couldn't imagine being a starting pitcher at times, like just being able to pitch and then that's it. Like that's for me, being able to go out on defense and be like, you know what, I'm 0 for 4 today. I'm going to make sure somebody else goes 0 for 4 today too. And just kind of having that and having a short memory kind of keeps me out of those little ruts. But, you know, throughout the year, you know, struggling, like you said, after the All-Star break, when I got to the postseason, like you said, Cleveland, man, it was damn near every at bat. I don't think I got my first hit till like game 4, I think. So,
but it was so impressive to me that you could do that and then have the ALCS you had.
But yeah, it's just, but I just go back to those past experiences when I struggled, like, hey, I've been here before. You know, I've had those bad moments. You know, you're going to get through it. Just keep working hard. Don't pout about it. Try to learn what you can and then move on, you know, and just try to keep learning what you did and move on. And, you know, thankfully we had a good team there too that could kind of carry me through that when I was a mess at the plate then.
No, I think he said something super important though that I think like all young baseball players should listen to is writing down how you feel when you feel good. Like when you're going good, because it's everything. Life's great when you're playing good. Like You don't even have to think about baseball. But those are the times when you need to write down your approach and what you were thinking, maybe even what you did that day. You know what I'm saying? Like on a day, like just to get back to that when you're struggling. Like we always want to, learn and revert and try to do different things when we're struggling. But when you're going good is when you really need to pay attention to what you're doing, how you're doing it, what your approach is, and really dig into that and have those notes so that when you do go bad, because you are going to go bad, it's fucking baseball, that you have that to fall back on. I think that's huge.
Yeah, even to this day, like I'm looking at notes that I had, when I was feeling good in 2015 in minor leagues or 2016 or even in 17, I still go back on those notes and check in and be like, okay, some things might have changed. I might have grew as a hitter and as a player, but this is still a key for me. I got to make sure I still remember that all the way back. It could be something I even did in high school and just bringing that with me. And that's where I see a lot of like you said, a lot of players struggle because they just feel like, I see guys when they start struggling, they're changing their stance, their hands are up here, they're doing this and that, they're eating something different, they're doing this and that. It's like, nah, go back. We've all been good. Go back to what check video, check notes, check something back when you were good, and just pick out that little one piece, and that could set you off, and you could have a good month or have it, finish out the year strong.
Most people don't pay attention when they're going. I would always be so scared when I was pitching well because I know it's a downtime coming. You know what I'm saying? So I was always writing everything down, like how I felt, like what I did today. Did I get up early? Did I go somewhere before I went to the field? Like all of that little shit, I wanted to make sure that I remembered because I knew it was coming. You know what I'm saying? Like I know if I win 3 or 4 games in a row, okay, I'm about to have a bad start. Like that's just how I thought. So I wanted to be prepared for this shit. I was always wanting to be prepared for my downtimes.
Oh, man.
Just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I get that. It's so interesting, though, Aaron, that you actually write it down. Like, do you have one specific notebook that everything's in from back in 2015? Or what's your actual process of taking these notes?
Oh, this is 2022, man. This is all mobile. I got
Well, I got my little Star Wars notebook right here with topics I want to hit with you. So I have like all these notebooks saved forever. I also do the iNotes, but I'm kind of old school. So
you're old, motherfucker. You're not old school. You're just old, cuz.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it just is. Because I got the same fucking thing. Look.
Is that Star Wars too?
Nah, this is Jordan, but it's the same thing. Yeah. And I was to write all my stuff down in this. And you know what? It was crazy is that when I retired, I threw it away. Like, it was just
really?
it was like for me, it was like symbolic. Like, I was like, I'm done with, you know what I'm saying? Like, that part of that anxiety and like that angst and all of that shit, like, I was happy to throw that motherfucker away. Like,
you could have sold it as an NFT though. Missed out, didn't you?
You don't want to see what's written down in that shit,
cuz. Oh my god. Aaron, is there, without prying too deeply into stuff that I know you wouldn't want to share, is there an example of something in like that you look back on, like in a notebook that you could share of like the type of thing you write down that's helpful?
For me, man, it's a lot of like little cues, like you said, like little reminders. It could be an approach. Like one of my big approaches is like in BP, especially like trying to literally like hit a line drive like off the second baseman's hat. Like that's one thing for me that helps keep me tight, keeps me connected, and really like using the whole field. And I'll go stretches where I'm like pulling off the ball, I'm popping it up, ground ball to third. Also, I'll go back to those notes and I'll be like, man, what's going on here? Also, I'll see that like it's one of the top ones too, and I'll be like, line drive to the second baseman. And I'll be like, oh, that's it. Like that's the one thing. Also, next day in BP, I'm doing that. Also, I'll have a good game, and it kind of locks me back in. So it's just little cues like that. Or there's even I got different baseball ones about make sure you're feeling this in your back. Make sure your hip, you feel like tension in your hip, this and that. Like there's certain feels, like little things on there that kind of gives me a feeling that I can remember. And it's like, okay, that's what I was feeling. Let me go back and try that. And then, usually good results.
Yep.
That is, I'm a dork with this stuff. This is where I nerd out on our pod because I love hearing that stuff. And I know, like, you know what I'm saying, though, C? Like, our audience is going to hear that and be like, that's so cool because it's, like, specific, something they don't know, like, they don't know about the notebook, but also, like, that approach type thing. and like there's so many cool intricacies of this sport. And it's such a challenging game mentally. We talk about it all the time, but like just the idea of playing a sport where you're going to have so much failure, and you have so many opportunities. And it doesn't matter how great you are, like you're like Kevin Durant isn't going out and scoring 8 points in a game. It's just not happening,
Yes.
It's just not happening. Like, but Aaron Judge is going to strike out 4 times in a game, and that CC Sabathia is going to give up 8 runs in a start. That. And just to go through, to know that and be able to handle it mentally, to me is just, it makes your sport so unique.
It does. It's so challenging mentally, and it's exhausting, bro, if you play it for long enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start enjoying the off season. You start enjoying the times when you don't have that on your mind. So yeah, I mean, for me, that's why I said, like, for me, when I retired, like, I'm so far removed from being a baseball player now, like, in my thought process, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can still watch a game, I can still talk the game, but, like, the way I think is not like a baseball player anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was excited to get out of that mode.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've seen is, like, the mental side of the game is what I feel like separates the big leaguers from, the minor leaguers, and then and even the superstars from just the regular everyday guys, is just their mentality and how they approach the game. And like, one thing too is, like, as I've kind of noticed over the years, especially going through 162 postseason, you lose in the postseason, like November, like there's like 2 or 3 weeks where it's like literally I don't want to hear baseball, I don't want to see anything on TV, I'm not checking my phone. Like, you got to escape from that. And I think that's, for me, it kind of helps motivate me to get back into it and gets me going in the off season, gets me going through during the year, just having that little bit of break where it's like, okay, let me step away from it right now and just, I don't want to see it. Like, that's the one thing that's always tough too, especially you get kicked out of the postseason. Then all you're seeing on TV is a team that beats you playing it at 6 o'clock tonight on Fox, like, man.
What's interesting about this, like, and see you talking about like throwing out the notebook, because it was this like source of anxiety and agita and like consumption, where you're just, and Aaron having to go through a period of like, I can't think about this. Like Doris Burke and I talk about this because I like to try and relate to my field when we talk about this stuff, but what I say is, like, with live performance, right? Which is what I do when I'm doing play-by-play as well. Like, if I'm getting on the air, and this is a lighter load having these conversations, right? It's a more kind of free-flowing, natural. But when I go down the air to go do a game, there's such a level of preparation I have to do in order to get in front of the mic and feel like I can go perform, that it's consuming and it's exhausting. And to the point that sometimes you're like so focused on the preparation and being able to perform well that you don't remember to enjoy the performance. And Doris and I have talked about this in recent years about, like, hey, we know we're good at this. We know we're going to be prepared. Like, let's remember to still enjoy it. Like, instead of being so consumed by, like, these are all the things I got to check the box on in order to be good. Like, let's remember then once we get there to still enjoy. And so good. Yeah, go.
No,
yeah.
I was about to say, so for us, it's enjoying the process. It's so, because it's not, the results are always going to be different for us, and you can't live on the results, but you have to enjoy getting up and going to the gym and doing your PT, and you have to enjoy the process of getting ready to play a big league season, or getting ready to, play a big league game. That's the part that we have to enjoy, because you don't know what the end result's going to be. You don't know if it's going to be successful, or you don't know if you're going to fail, but you have to find joy in the process, or else you can't do the shit. Does that make sense?
No, and kind of to hit on that, like, a lot of the guys that I've talked to over the years that just retired, like, that's the first thing they say is, like, you know what? Like, I knew mentally I couldn't enjoy preparing for, I can't, the preparation, like, I can't handle that anymore. That's the number one thing everybody says is, you know what? Like, the preparation, like, I can't do it. Like you said, I got to do the PT. I got to go work out. I got to do this. And all of a sudden you start throwing kids in it. I got a wife and this and that. It just, it gets taxing. So that's like you said, like, if you don't enjoy that preparation, where the stuff that people aren't seeing, all that preparation and work and then leading up to the game, like, that's one thing that always kills me with, if it's family members or friends that really don't know the whole aspects of baseball. They're like, you play at 7 o'clock. Like, what do? You just, like, go to lunch and then you show up to the field at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then play the game or what? And it's like, no, you're getting there at 12:30, 1 o'clock, and you got a whole day full of things even before you get to the field that you got to do. Then you're doing all the BP, the warm up, the stretching, hitting the cage, weight room again, meetings. Like it's stuff like that you got to enjoy that. If you're doing it 162 days every single day, then even in the off season, man, that's it. You got to enjoy the process. That's number one.
Yeah, and for me, it's even like early. It was like even like the travel and like doing all being on the plane and all of that stuff was like a part of the process. But like Judgy, like my last year, like I would sit in my seat and just be asleep. Like I wouldn't, like my old ass probably should have moved to the back of the plane or maybe to the front, but I had to be in the middle of everything. But I would be like over there so mad because the music's playing loud. Like just take your old ass to a different part of the plane. But no, I had to be sitting right there, but I was miserable. But like it was time for me to retire, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't enjoying all of that stuff. I wasn't enjoying getting in the hot tub at 4:30 for a 7 o'clock game. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that shit, the process for me to get ready to play or even go on the road started to suck for me.
Man, Cece's getting mad. I'm sitting right across the aisle from him, blasting some music. He's just trying to watch a Netflix show and take a nap,
I know that's what he's about, man.
I should have definitely just moved my seat, Kez, but I couldn't. I had to be all in the middle of everybody's shit.
Hey, speaking of the plane, do you know the only time I've ever experienced an air pocket when flying, where you drop like a couple thousand feet in a few seconds, was when Aaron was sitting next to me on our flight. I think it was back from Seattle. Do you remember that, Aaron? Like it was like a brief. It was just like we both kind of went, whoa. Like it was like we felt like you feel like you're dropping. Everything's fine, but you feel like you're like, you remember that, man? Like things jump. Like
yeah, I think I went to the bag. I don't know what I was doing. Then I came back and I popped next to you and we were chatting for a second. And literally it felt like we dropped 30 feet like that.
Yes.
Straight down. And I was like, hey, Ruko, I got to go. Either I'm strapping up right here for the next 3 hours or like, I got to go.
It was scary, man. I was like, damn. Along the lines of enjoying the process. And by the way, Aaron, you've just been so great that we're taking a little more of your time than we thought. So don't worry. I'm still mindful of it, but we appreciate it, man. How about you just mentioned like the results aren't guaranteed, especially in your sport, right? Like, you could throw the perfect pitch, a hitter could flick it into right field and get the game tying hit, right? Aaron, you could smoke a ball 115, it could happen to be right at the center fielder. So along those lines of enjoying the process, do you also find joy in any particular matchups? Like, is there a time where you're like, hey, I know, like, are there some pitchers, like, who are the guys, if you do feel this way, where you're like, I enjoy this challenge. Like, I love going up against this guy. I know the results may not be what I want, but man, I love the challenge of facing this dude. Are there some guys who you feel that way about? And if so, who are they?
Wow. I think just any of the big rivalry games that we got, playing against Boston and getting ready for that series and facing their pitchers and you got the fans yelling, screaming, booing, flipping you off, all this kind of stuff. Like that part of it I enjoy. Like I think back to 17, like just being a rookie and, a lot of guys that, I watched on TV and now I'm stepping in the box, getting a chance to face them. Like I remember we played the Cardinals that year and facing Wainwright and, getting a chance to see that big curveball for the first time and, see everything and be in the box with Yadier Molina catching. Like there's little things like that you look forward to. It's like, man, I grew up watching you guys do your thing in the World Series and now I get a chance to play you guys at Yankee Stadium. Like that was it for me. Like I love that, even facing in 17, Verlander, I watched him do his thing with Detroit for so many years and he gets traded over to Houston, pumping 97, 98, he's got that, presence on the mound, man. You look forward to, those moments because you're like, what, I want to see how I stack up, get some of the game's greats and the game's best. Like where do I stack up in this, man? I want to be one of the greats. So let's go, so it's just, those are some of the ones that kind of pop into my head right now. There's certain guys that you just kind of see that, man, like even I'm trying to think now, like even like Greinke was another one that I watched him. He pitched for so many different teams. And then to see him with Houston and he's grunting, throwing me a 68-mile-an-hour curveball. He's just messing with your mind. He's two backdoor two seams, top of the zone heaters. Like it's you just love that challenge, but that's what it's about, man. Like you said, once you go through all the preparation, you put in the work, your game plan. When you step out on that field, that's where you have fun. That's where you can just go out there and like CC said, where you couldn't line out, you could go 0 for 4 that day, I could go 4 for 4. But I know I put in the work and it's time to go out there and enjoy it and have fun no matter what.
Hey, one matchup I can remember though is when we faced the Dodgers in 19. And did you take Kershaw deep that night? And he was he was like, and I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, that's Aaron Judge. Like he was like baffled that you got a hit off of him, that you took him deep. And I remember screaming in the dugout, like, yeah, we got real fucking players over here, guys.
Man, what's crazy is that for me, and I think kind of the team, like we were all so excited for that series just because of the hype. They were first in their division out in the West. We were the first in our division out in the East. Like the games were sold out. Mm-hmm. Like the pitchers we were facing, and we had Kershaw, I think, on Saturday, and man, like we were excited. Like that was some of the most fun I've had playing baseball. Were some of those games, man. He had CC out there who was rocking those red cleats, man. That was Players Weekend, man. We had some fun for that, but I think all the boys were hyped up and ready to take it to them. So I think DJ led off the game with a home run that game too, and I think my first at bat, I flew out to right center. So I was trying to go back to back with DJ. I was like, Kershaw, we got to go back to back. I don't know how many times I'm going to face this, future Hall of Famer, man. I got to leave my mark,
That was such a fun series. Those like memorable regular season series, like the one you guys had in I think it was in 17 at Wrigley Field too.
Oh, right? Wasn't that what Gardy hit the homer? Oh, man, that was wild, bro.
Oh man, that was
such a wild series.
Gardy hit the homer.
We swept them, right?
And the third game was like a 18-inning game or something like that. Yeah.
I just remember Gardy running around the place and saying, "Boom!" Like,
hey, he came back to the dugout. He had snot all over his face, all everywhere from screaming. I was like, I don't know if I want to. I'm excited, but you just keep it going. Keep it going.
Oh, that's hilarious. Aaron, how about, we talk about kind of leadership, and you mentioned CC. I know early on, Derek Jeter used to do this like captain's camp, if I remember right, type thing with you guys as young guys. I'm wondering, is there anything you remember either from that experience with Derek or other conversations that you've taken with you or that's kind of stayed at the foundation of any of your philosophies or approaches?
Wow. I think actually one meeting during that time, we had Mariano came out and kind of talked to all of us. And, he kind of hit on some points, about, enjoy, where you're at right now is a blessing. Don't take any of this for granted. You guys in the minor leagues, you're working your way up, but don't take this for granted because there's millions of kids out there that would give their left arm to be in your shoes, so the good days, the bad days, learn from them and enjoy it, enjoy the process and keep going. And, he hit on that. He hit on like, back when they were winning all those championships, he said they had the mindset they were going to beat. It didn't matter who they were facing, who he was facing in the box. He's like, we were going to beat this team into the dirt every single game. And that's one thing I always try to take, even into all the teams I play now, just having that mindset. We're the New York Yankees. Like we're going to beat every single team we play into the dirt, and then guess what? We got beat today. They had our number, but guess what? Tomorrow we're going to come back and respond and beat them into the dirt. And just having that mindset that you guys, we're the best team on the planet, is one thing that I remember kind of just taking from, some of those talks we had.
Yeah. The old guard guys. Aaron, because you just mentioned all the kids who want to be in that position, I wanted to ask you about the All Rise Foundation because, I know the way Mariano has been so impactful in his community, or Derek with Turn 2, or CC with Pitch In. I know now, that's a real motivation for you with All Rise. So I'm just curious if you could kind of share the mission of the foundation and kind of what you're hoping, to do with it in the years to come.
Yeah, with All Rise, trying to inspire the youth to be better leaders, better citizens, through different after-school programs or different, scholarships we can give them to get into different programs and schools. Man, it's the youth are our future. Any way we can help the next generation. And that's one thing I'm actually pretty upset about. We had a big gala planned up in New York City, but with everything going on with COVID and that, it's decided to kind of move it to later in the year when hopefully things kind of get better and things open up. But man, it's been a fun journey. That's the one thing that's one thing kind of when I first started getting into baseball, like you said, you mentioned Jeter, Mariano, CC has, pitch in foundation. I'd see these, the greats, and they were great on the field, but the impact they were having off the field with the youth was so much bigger. They were putting up the numbers, they were doing what they needed to do. They're going to be future Hall of Famers, all that. But the impact I saw that they were doing off the field, going back to the communities, going back to their hometown, giving back, giving kids that don't have the same, opportunities that they might have had, or, no opportunities at all. Like just showing that love and passion for the youth. Like that's one thing I definitely saw with CC with a lot of the camps he's done. Like that motivated me. I said, hey, at some point when I get into the right position, I want to have my own foundation so that I can inspire the next generation, just to be, better leaders and better citizens, man. So it's, we're moving and grooving with the All Rise Foundation, man. We're growing, and, a lot of that would help from, definitely CC and Amber, kind of, because that's the one thing I didn't know what to get. I didn't know how to run a foundation. I didn't know what to do. And that's one thing, having my mom's help and, our board. And then, we pick the brain of Amber and CC a lot when we're kind of getting into it. Like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do a gala? How do you, raise money for schools and kids? And how do you run camps? Like it was all new to me, but that was, another fun challenge of mine that I'm looking forward to. And I absolutely love. So it's been going well so far. So I'm looking at what the future holds for sure.
You know what? This just leads me to probably the final one here, Aaron, because we've taken up so much of your time, man. I'm wondering, you guys meet and have met so many fans, and whether it's, taking a quick picture, signing an autograph, having a little chat, just dapping a fan up, obviously you guys as professional athletes who are visible, you mean a lot to people who feel like they know you, who you'll never know. And so when they have a brief interaction with you, it's a very memorable moment for them, but oftentimes, understandably, it's a very forgettable moment for you guys. I'm wondering, and for each of you, but is there a moment that, is there either a specific fan interaction or more generally a type of fan interaction that stands out to you? Like, is there something that a fan says to you? It can be a recurring thing, or is there one particular interaction you could think of that somebody said to you that hit you differently, that you remember, that like you're like, wow, that actually that made me feel really good, or like that meant something to me, like that you could think about somebody coming up to you that you didn't know that's a fan of yours, that kind of sits with you and maybe still sits with you.
Like you said, you meet a lot of people. I think for me, it's like the kids. When the kids come up and they're like, I'm the biggest fan. Like, I love watching baseball. You're my favorite player. Like, I wear 99 in Little League because of you, and like, just want to be like you. I think that for me that hits home. I'm like, because I can see myself as that kid years ago, idolizing some of my favorite guys. Barry Bonds, pool host. Like, I was like, man, I want to be just like them. I'm copying their batting stance. I want to be just like them. And then to see some other kid saying that to me, like for me, that's, that puts it all in perspective, man. It's just the type of impact that we can have on anybody, even kids that we don't know or have never met, have never seen that type of impact. And it's pretty special, And that's one thing that's like funny. In 17, I remember with more people, like you said, more people coming up, want to take pictures, doing that. I remember going to CC and I asked them, I said, man, like, I know I'm not where you're at with your level, but like, how do you handle this? Like, what are you doing? And I remember him telling me, he was like, man, just be you. Like, you don't need to be anybody different but you. Like, just say hello, say what's up, take a picture. Like, just be who you are, and that should take care of everything else, man. So that's one thing that always pops in my head anytime I meet somebody, even if I'm, in a hurry trying to do something. I'm just like, yeah, let's take a quick picture. How you doing? And then get it going. So that's one thing that always lasts with me.
I remember having a conversation with you in that spring training, and you was talk. You were not going to keep 99. You remember? You were like, should I keep 99? I was like, fuck yeah, you keep 99 because nobody's like you, bro. Like, you're a creative player. Now every Little League team that I see has a number 99. That didn't happen before you. You know what I'm saying? Every team that I see, from Carter's team, 11U, to Little C's team, 18U on these circuits, every team has a number 99. So the impact that you've had on the game already is incredible. But for me, it's like a fan interaction. I mean, all the fan interactions are cool, especially if I'm in a good mood. It depends on what kind of mood I am. But for me, like, the most memorable one for me is Rowdy Tellez. He came up to me. We were in Toronto, and he came running up. And you know me, like, he's on the other team, so I'm, like, defensive. Like, I'm kind of like, what the fuck's this dude doing, like, running up on me? But he was like, bro, I'm a big fan. And I'm thinking he's trying to butter me up. I'm about to face these guys. Like, he was like, I grew up going to your baseball camps. And that shit just, like, melted my heart. Like, I was like, oh, this is the only reason I ever put on camps. Is to have a kid come up to me and, you know, in the big leagues and say, hey, I went to your camps as a kid. So, like, that right there, still get goosebumps just thinking about it. But
I am too. That chokes me up, actually.
That there was the coolest moment that I've ever had as a big leaguer. So, yeah, I mean, it makes it all worth it. Like, all those long days and tough things that we have to do off the field and with the foundation, it makes it all worth it when you get that one interaction like I had with Rowdy Tellez.
That is awesome, man. That's so great. That's beautiful. That's what it's about. And I'm glad that you told Aaron to keep 99.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, man.
He was going to change his number.
Yeah, I was trying to see what numbers were open. I thought about 13, but I was like, I can't do that. Not yet.
Oh man.
But you didn't give Rowdy, you didn't give him no cookies that time we faced him, though.
Oh,
right?
no, I'm definitely trying to get him out even more now. Now I have to get you out now.
Oh, I love it. Aaron, this has been wonderful, man. Like, just this is why we love R2C2. Our audience getting to see different aspects of, people they watch as personalities and people they admire. And even for us, even with both of us being friends with you and having relationships with you, getting to talk about things that we otherwise don't. So thank you, man, for giving us so much time. I do hope that this all starts on time and you get out on the field on time, because we're looking forward to a great year and looking forward to seeing you in Tampa. And if you want to share that picture of you crying at the altar with the whales in the background, please, by all means, you could share it with us.
I was going to the grave with me. Ain't nobody getting that picture.
Thank you, Aaron. We appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
No, I appreciate you guys, man. Had a blast just like last time. Can't wait for the next one.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
man, us too. What up, everybody? Ryan Rucco here. Just want to say thank you so much for subscribing to our R2C2 YouTube page, a new venture for us. And we so appreciate you going on the journey with us. And it's really easy. If you haven't subscribed yet and you just happen to watch this episode, you could see right there. I mean, you could subscribe right there. Easy. Just click it. It's free. And tell all your friends and family as well. Get them on board to the video form of the episode also, and additional R2C2 content. We so appreciate the way you guys support us. Cece and I always talk about how it's amazing for as many things as we do in our respective careers outside of the podcast, how many people come up to us and the first thing they mention is R2C2. And that means so much to us, the way that you guys have connected with the pod and the way we feel connected to you. So thank you for taking yet another step with us in our evolution. And please continue to subscribe and to watch and to spread the word. All the best.